like I say, most people don't even know about Eddie Murphy's past. Who is Eddie Murphy? Like I said, there is absolute um, conclusive proof basically out there that pretty much Eddie Murphy was actually, well, for one thing, Eddie Murphy is actually a white person. If you actually look up who Eddie Murphy was actually a white person, and he died at some point in time. And basically, his identity was given to pretty much a black person, basically. But they found out they traced back and they looked to see who Eddie Murphy actually was. And some group of people were looking into Eddie Murphy, and this has to do with basically they blamed it on Robin Williams and tried to say it was Robin Williams, but it actually wasn't. Anyway, Eddie Murphy was originally actually a white person, and it used to be a comedy skit actually that he used to do actually at some point in time. How basically he was like I got so scared I turned black, yeah, whatever. Anyway, though, and it goes back to the old days basically. Pretty much. But anyway, though, a bunch of people researched it, and they found out basically that Eddie Murphy was actually originally a white man, basically, and pretty much basically so. And there's probably been more than one Eddie Murphy, and like I say, Eddie Murphy, wasn't actually the original Eddie Murphy. The original Eddie Murphy was actually kind of like a pimply faced, skinny guy that looked a little bit more like the Prince of Bel Air or something like that. This other black guy, basically. Anyway, though, he eventually died, I think, or something like that, at a basically a theater or a building, pretty much. And so basically, and then there's Eddie Murphy that you know as the actor Eddie Murphy, which actually is a guy from basically Africa, pretty much, or something like that. And he used to joke and say, "I'm Africa's last hope," basically. And pretty much, like I say, he grew up basically in Africa. And then he was just a good-looking guy in Africa that basically a bunch of British people grabbed and basically brought him to America because he would look good in underwear. He had a nice butt. Anyway, and he was an underwear model for many years. And then eventually he started doing stand-up comedy and also doing some acting and stuff like that. But that's who Eddie Murphy is. A lot of people would probably call me racist. I'm not racist. It's funny, what is racism anyway? What is a racist anyway? Like I said, the meaning of words. You people trip over your own words, basically. And the Germans would say that too. They would say, you trip over your own words, you don't even know what they mean. Like, what is a racist anyway? To race a horse? Colorist? Anyway, like I say, it's funny that people use these words and they don't even know what these words mean. Like, all. And even Eddie Murphy would even talk about this. All the things, because they would ask him, well, what's civilization like for you? And there's lots of video of Eddie Murphy, the actor that talking about things. Anyway, people in Hollywood, which is just that way from where I am, basically, anyway, like I say, no one even knows that Hollywood was actually originally Pollywood, Plywood City, basically, pretty much. Anyway, then it became Hollywood. So films, things, and all kinds of stuff. Mostly because of me, because I wanted my actors around me. Originally my actors were in Russia or someplace like that, but it was unsafe for them over there, and I wanted them moved closer to me. So they came closer to me. And live about a couple hundred miles that way, basically. Anyway, whatever. Like I say, people from around the world had no idea about anything that the world around them. Like, why is Hollywood over there? Why are the record companies over there too? Why is LA so important? Los Angeles. What is so important about Santa Barbara? Oh, why are so many things around in California? Me. Basically. I was here. I'm going to be here. Anyway, and now I'm here. So, anyway, whatever. I'm the original and real Lucifer Star. Anyway, I was hoping to see more of my cities out there in the world, but it didn't work out that way. So, anyway, Like I say, a whole world of people that have no idea about anything that's around in the world or why it was. They don't know who set your constitution. You don't know who wrote your constitution or who dictated your constitution to actually be made. You don't know who amended the constitution and gave you the Second Amendments and Third Amendments and Fourth Amendment and all that other stuff. You don't know who did that. You have no idea about any of it, do you? Was it JFK? Was it Nixon? Was it Trump? Was it Ronald Reagan? And what is a Ronald Reagan anyway? A lot of people ask me too, what is a Ronald Reagan anyway? Anyway, he was actually an actor, I believe, and was probably best known for his work as a, like I said, there was lots of old stuff back in the old days before, basically kids playing around, being Ray Gun or whatever, or something like that. Anyway, he was an actor, and he was good with his fists, and he did a lot of Southwesterns and and also some spaceship stuff, I believe, or something like that. Maybe he used a ray gun, who knows. Anyway, though, there's lots of history which you will eventually come into knowledge of or understand, and basically, just because it's on TV and just because you read it in a book doesn't mean it's true or that it's real. Just because your friend tells you, like a lot of people back in the 1920s and 1950s would be like, "Psst, come here, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. We're gonna tell you the truth right now." And what they were actually telling was not the truth. Like some people would, yeah, right, whatever, and then they would go ask the person about it. Anyway. So, like I said, before you comment on my page, like I said, what are angels? What was the LSF-A? Where were the Blackbirds actually made? Like I said, Nixon and JFK and some other people tried to pretend like Lockheed had built the SR-71 Blackbirds, but the thing is that they're made out of depleted uranium, and it takes a lot of years for uranium to get that safe and that's safe to be around. Like I said, the truth was nobody knew where the SR-71 Blackbirds or LSF-A Blackbirds came from. Tell me, where was the LSF-A Blackbird actually built? Who built it? And I'm not exactly even sure myself. It may not even have been built on this planet. It might have actually been built on another planet by somebody else, and I think it probably actually was. Anyway, whatever. The truth is that you're all children, and you have no idea what's going on around you. You don't even know where the Blackbirds came from. They came from Germany and France, where they were being stored. But they weren't built there. No. And they might have actually come from another planet. Probably did. I think probably maybe my exoskeletons actually built them. I'm not exactly sure. It takes hundreds of millions of years for uranium to actually get that safe to be around. Anyway. Like I say, I don't really care. I talked to a physicist about them. But basically, they're more than 5,000 years old. That much everyone could agree on. It takes a long time for uranium to get actually like non-radioactive or whatever. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure. You're going to have to go talk to a specialist or a scientist about what the Blackbirds were actually made of. It's uranium, all right? Depleted uranium or something like that. It's a very hard metal. Has a very, 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 very high heat tolerance. Can't even cut it with a torch. So, at least so they say. You could grind on it, though. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I had them built, but I never actually flew in them or was around them. Eventually, somebody stole them. Like I said, I was offering rides in them and stuff like that. Because they were basically, they're works of art. They're classic. They're hundreds of millions of years old, probably. Way older than JFK or anyone else around here. They're from my old colony ship, the LSF-A colony ship. Like I said, they saw the LSF-A Blackbirds, but where was the colony ship? Well, it's on another planet. You don't even have any record of the LSF-A colony ship because other people didn't know about it. So, anyway, yeah, I know. You've been calling me crazy for years, but they're my Blackbirds. And if you look right underneath the window, there's a big LSF-A.